All right, where do I even begin? This is the most badass film I have ever seen in my entire life. It is that amazing. It is that incredible. Like, it's just I don't even know where to begin. It's just the premise itself: giant robots fighting giant Godzillas. Like that's awesome. Like I don't even know where to begin. Like it's an original film. It's the amazing part. I mean, yeah, sure, giant monster meet giant robot isn't always like ain't like, you know, a new idea, but like what they do with it just seems so like it's so interesting. Okay, the premise around this is that these giant things called the kaijus came from like a portal deep in like a crevice in the Pacific Ocean. Anyways, the first one, this film jumps you right into it, like already saying we're at war. And the first one attacks San Francisco, and you see Golden Gate Bridge just get decimated. These things are huge. Like it's like Shadow of the Colossus. Everything just feels huge. You look at this thing. I'm like looking up. I'm like, holy shit, that thing's huge. Anyways, what they had to do is, in order to fight these things, they built a new type of weapon called the Jaeger, which is basically it's like a 25 to 30 story robot, which I think is like almost 300 feet tall when you think about it. And what it is, they need two pilots. What it is, it's so that it kind of controlled by the brain, but it sort of emits something back to the brain. And what it is, one person was like, you needed two pilots to control these things because it's so huge and so powerful that one human brain isn't enough. So they needed two, one that controls the left hemisphere, one that controls right hemisphere of the brain. And that's where, and then you need two people that pretty much could be in sync. So pretty much you get relatives. And then we're introduced to, well, our main character. His name is Riley, or Rayleigh, whatever his name is. He's played by Charlie Hunnam. And I'm not gonna lie, he is the weakest part of the movie. He's okay, he just seemed a bit, I don't know, like, his character's good, but, his character's good, it's just, he just doesn't give the best performance out there, right? He does what he needs to do. Anyways, he and his brother, Yancey, I think. Yancey, is it? So I saw this last night, and like, I'm just still tired. Yancey. Anyways, they control Gypsy Danger, which is the American Jaeger. There's like 5 of these things in total, and each one has a neat little like look and almost character to them. Anyways, they're fighting I think it's a class 4 kaiju. And they're sort of like, they're rated by a sort of size and strength, classes 1 to 4. Anyways, a class 4 kaiju, which means this thing is huge. So they fight this thing, and then they thought, okay, we're good, but then things go wrong, really wrong. The thing comes back, and it pretty much rips half the Jaeger in half, and Rayleigh's brother dies. Okay, this is just in the beginning, so don't like say, oh, you spoiled the movie. But anyways, Riley's able to do something. By himself, he's able to control the Jaeger and able to kill the kaiju. He pilots the thing back to a nearby beach and he just collapses. After that, the Jaeger program pretty much went like out of commission. It was just expensive. They couldn't keep them up, and you really get the feel that the world really is in danger. You see destruction in like major cities like Seattle and everywhere, and that's one of the ones you see. Seattle, it's just a slush pile, and pretty much all the Jaegers, they come from various countries off the Pacific. So you got America, obviously, you got Japan, you got China, you got Russia, and of course Australia. Each one sort of has their own neat little thing, really, and I like the looks of all the Jaegers. I think my favorite one's the Russian one. It's called Cherno Alpha. It kind of looks a lot like Big Daddy from the original Big Daddy from the first BioShock. And the thing's it's got giant hands. Like, it looks like Big Daddy, which is really cool. The Chinese one, I think it's called Crimson, hold on one second. Crimson something. It has 3 hands and has a big spike on it. Guillermo del Toro is an incredible director. Very visual. He likes to he's very hands-on. He likes to I guess to some extent do everything. He likes to do a lot of things on his own. Well, I'm kind of worried about saying that, but because he likes to do he likes to do big films. Crimson Typhoon, that's a Chinese one. Gypsy Danger is the American one. Striker Eureka is the Australian one. I think that one's really cool. It's got these neat things on his back that kind of look like Master Chief armor almost. Coyote Tango, that's a Japanese one. I think this thing was seen maybe once in the movie, I think. And then Cherno Alpha. The pilots are really cool. That's a bit of a complaint, is that you don't really get to see you don't really get to meet a lot of the other pilots. You meet the Australian pilots, and Guillermo decided to make the Australian guys dicks for some reason. Well, just to make one of the Australian guys a complete dick. But really, the standout performance in this movie is Idris Elba. Okay, the guy's just an amazing actor from start to finish. He just is amazing. Even if a movie's bad, he's still great. So anyways, the story. So anyways, 5 years after Gypsy Danger was almost destroyed and Riley lost his brother, the Jaeger program was decommissioned altogether. Anyways, Idris Elba decided to he kept it going with as much as he could. They couldn't make new Jaegers was the problem, because it was just, it was expensive. They're incredibly difficult to build, and to get the right pilots is difficult as well. But what does get interesting is why these kaijus, why they are coming in the first place. It's not just because they're dicks and they're giant monsters. No. There's actually a kind of neat reason as to why they're actually here, and something I kind of wasn't expecting. I thought they were just giant monsters coming out of nowhere. But this is every teenage boy's dream: giant robots fighting giant monsters. Another standout performance is what's her name? Rinko Kikuchi. I think that's her name. I'm horrible with names. She's a Japanese actress who plays Mako, sort of Mako, I think. Mako Mori, who becomes Riley's co-pilot as well. She's great in it. Everyone's really great in it. Charlie Day. There's these two scientists. One's played by Bern Gorman, who was one of the actors in The Dark Knight Rises, and Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They're the most over the top thing about this. Not the giant robots or the giant the giant alien monster thing. No. Those two scientists are the most over the top thing in this movie, and it is awesome. They're just one of them, Charlie Day, plays a kaiju enthusiast. He just wants to know everything there is about them. The point where he kind of links his brain, he kind of syncs his brain with one of them, kind of like they do with the Jaegers, to get an understanding of who they are. And well, it almost kills him, but he does it anyway. But there's some great bits of them. Ron Perlman is in the movie, and he is awesome. I love Ron Perlman. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. He's just always amazing, and he plays, what's his name, Hannibal Chow. He's just a complete he's a black market dealer. He's a scumbag. He's just awesome. They do some absolutely amazing things with him. If you're gonna watch the movie, wait till after the credits. You'll get a nice scene. But apart from that, I don't know what else to say. It gives exactly what the audience wants, gives some really neat ideas. It is original. I will say that. It is original. But only two complaints. One is that, Charlie Hunnam, he's okay. At best. Just not the character, the actor. And this is a complaint just on me, in that I think there are... I can't believe I'm saying this, but they... I'll say that after. There are a lot of aspects in this movie, and there's some of which I kind of wish they did more with them. Well, I did with I wish Guillermo did more with. But it's not so much as one's overshadowed, but it's not like, oh, they didn't focus on this aspect because they could put a bunch more action. No, no, no. The problem with this film, the only real problem with this film, is that there are too many aspects. There are too many things. I thought just like, okay, they're all neat. They all fit in. It's just like, maybe if the movie was like 20 minutes longer, they could have done a little more with it. I don't know, but there are too many aspects. I think, not all hard to understand. I mean, just there are just too many aspects that some of which I think only one of them I felt was, I'm trying to remember which aspect of it was. It's something to do with Mako's character. Is it Mako or Mako? They pronounce it Mako. So, and of course, Guillermo decided to make one of the Australian pilots a dick. But these things, you just get such an awe and amazement just seeing these things in battle. It's not like Transformers where everything's just all over the place. No, no, no. You can tell like who's winning and who's who. And a criticism I was reading is that they're always fighting in like, in the night, in the rain. I thought, well, I don't know, it looks cool, I guess. I thought it looked cool. And it gives sort of the sense of like, sense of unexpected, because you don't know where these things are going to be. There's some really great there's some really great humor in this. Let's check its pulse. I was laughing so hard at that. A lot of good visual humor. Anything with those two scientists, anything with Ron Perlman. But the best performance in this movie is Idris Elba. It would have been it would have almost been interesting if the movie was just centered around him, but I think as a supporting character, he's perfect. I've heard the Power Rangers comparison, but it's nothing like Power Rangers. I mean, it feels more like I can't really, like, I can think of, like, Gundam, Power Rangers. I can think of lots of things that reminds me of Shadow of the Colossus almost, Godzilla, but not to that extent, maybe. There are some, it does, I kind of wish there was a little more to the ending. It just sort of ends, but, well, there's that bit after the credits. But as it is, I think it's a very good film. I'm being enthusiastic. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. I think it's great. Like I said, too many aspects that I kind of wish were a bit shrunken down a little more. Maybe not shrunk, like, done a little more with. But there are some absolutely just great bits. I was never bored. It didn't, like, I was never bored. Like, it's always, like, amazing to see these things fight. But my favorite bit was with the two Australian pilots. That's neat. The Australian Jaeger is a Mark V, I think, and it's also the fastest Jaeger in the world. So, because Australians are naturally fast at whatever. But there's some great bits where the thing with the kaiju is that they're learning about the humans. They're kind of learning how to take down these things. One of them I think launches an EMP at one point. One of the kaijus. It doesn't. It's sort of like the thing just sort of sits there, all powerless, and the two pilots get on top of it. It's just like, hey, let's take those flare guns and do something really stupid. Pew pew. I think we just made it angry. And another thing about the Australian pilots is that they're father and son, so a good father and son activity. Alright, son, let's go beat some aliens! Some alien monster things. It's great. I'm surprised there isn't a Canadian Jaeger. If there was I bet you, if there was a Canadian Jaeger, it would probably punch an alien and then a thing would pop out saying, "I'm sorry!" Watch it, that'll happen. A Canadian Jaeger, and it'll just punch a thing, and then a little banner will come from its arm being like, "I'm sorry." Because, Canadians always say, "I'm sorry." But this is just, this might be one of my favorite films of the year. It's that amazing. This review's running long, but I like it. This is my second time filming, and I like this one a little more, so I'm going to use this one. Guillermo, you're an amazing director. I'm a fan of his work. I love Pan's Labyrinth. I think that's his best film, but Hellboy's also really good. But this is a great film. Much recommended. I think it's underrated. Critics are kind of going about it, but I give it 9 out of 10. So see you later.